Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to day 5 of the AT Essentials series. This is the last of the week. Obviously, as part of the AT Essentials, this is an overall sort of refresher or introduction to ABBYY. So what we dive in massively deep. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat or the Q&A, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. So first off, what is ABBYY FineReader? Well, ABBYY is an extremely versatile PDF tool with one of the most powerful and accurate OCRs out there. It allows you to flawlessly convert documents. It allows you to digitize documents. It allows you to create fully accessible and editable PDF documents. So this here that you can see is the ABBYY home screen. Got two main sections up here at the top. First one is PDF document, and that's where we're going to start. And then there's also the OCR editor. We'll dip into that a little bit. It can look a little scary at first, but as soon as you understand why it's there and how it works, it's the simplest thing in the world. You can scan documents directly into ABBYY, including, say, image files, for instance. There is a compare function, so you can take two identical documents or at different stages of draft, and then you can compare them. I'll make sure it's most relevant, check if there's any sort of changes between the team and so on, but I won't be really going into that today, unfortunately. And there is a mobile app, which you can scan the QR code to download that app instantaneously, and you can link that to your desktop version as well, so that you don't have to be emailing PDF documents backwards and forwards. You can just scan it on your phone, and then it'll automatically be part of your ABBYY here. ABBYY works on Windows devices, and there's also a Mac version as well. Fantastic. Well, without further ado, I'll just jump on it. So first, we're going to select a PDF document. Then I'm going to find my scanned textbook here. So this is one I actually scanned myself from a textbook. I've got here a physical textbook. As you can see, it's not the best scan in the world. This text is completely inaccessible. It reads as a picture PDF. So someone using a screen reader, someone using text-to-speech software would not be able to interact with this. Some of the pages are sideways, as you can see, even one's upside down. And in fact, this particular PDF is across two languages, so that's English and Spanish, so it can do multiple language OCRing simultaneously. Just as a little side note, before I do the OCR, ABBYY can OCR hand-printed text. It would just have to be within a legible format. So students who like to put their own notes would be able to use ABBYY FineReader. So first thing we need to do is OCR this PDF. So we come to this button marked Recognize. Now, as you can see here, this has a range of keyboard shortcuts. So every part of ABBYY does have keyboard shortcuts inbuilt. I can send across any keyboard shortcut lists for those with physical disabilities if necessary. Click Recognize Document. Automatically, it's going to OCR in English, French, German, Italian, and Spanish. But ABBYY can OCR in 198 different languages there. And that includes perhaps more ancient languages like Latin or even Old English. So students studying foreign languages or ancient languages can use this as well. But even more formal languages like chemical formulas and maths formulas. So students who are studying STEM subjects can also use this, as well as C++ and Java. So students who are studying coding and software as well could find this potentially useful. This is going to correct the page orientation. So that page that was sideways, that page that was upside down, that's going to be corrected. And it's going to realign the document as well. So we just hit Recognize. It takes literally a second. Probably one of the faster OCRs that I've worked with. And now this text is completely accessible to my screen reader, my text-to-speech software, and so on. But next, we're going to be annotating this PDF into our study resource. So we've got a range of tools just at the top. So I'll start with a very simple highlighting tool. And you just drag that over the text that you want to highlight. You can have as many highlights in the document as you like. And if you use this drop down, the colors are also completely customizable. And that goes for every section as well. Everything is customizable. got an underline, so we want to highlight something that's important for us to read again later, for instance. Again, we can change the color at any point. We have our strike through tool. So say if we were going through a list, perhaps, we can just check off as we're going. There are two very simple ways to insert a note into the document as well. So we have this insert text button. We can click it anywhere and it will give us this triangle. Again, we can choose what color the triangle is. Now, ABBYY is a collaboration tool, so you can use it with other people using ABBYY. People who don't use ABBYY can access all my notes and all my edits, but maybe not interact the same way. So I can say, add a reply as a fellow student or a lecturer. I can have this marked accepted, rejected, cancelled, and complete, and so on. Just mark that there. The other way is a simple highlighting tool, which you can use as a note feature as well. So you just highlight the text here and insert your note. What I think is quite cool about adding in the notes, highlights, and everything within ABBYY is that it's very easy to find that information again. So let's say you had a massive textbook and you need to find your revision material or your reference material for later on. You can come to this tab in the corner marked comments, and it will give you a full list of all your highlights, all your edits, everything in here. And you can filter this down so you can find the more relevant information. And then you simply click on it and it will just quickly jump you to that section. There's some freehand drawing tools built in as well. Next to the note function is freehand drawing, which is 8. So we can maybe draw this, draw links between information. Same with the line feature, as well as this simple arrow feature as well. We have various shapes we can input directly in the document, circle, polygon, cloud, polyline as well. So maybe we can even put little line maps within our information here. Now, next to the document tab is the organized pages here, and you can have all your, say, resources, all your revision materials, all your academic journals, everything directly within this ABBYY document, as well as access various features typical with a PDF tool such as splitting and merging and cropping and so on directly here. But what's really cool about ABBYY is it doesn't just let us annotate or make the text accessible, it actually allows us to fully edit this text. So if I come to the section marked edit content, and essentially what it's doing is taking all this text and it's putting them into individual boxes, so that we can edit each and every part as we're going through. Those just take a quick moment. So as you can see now, all this text has been put into individual boxes, so I can move this around. I can perhaps copy and paste relevant information, reference material, revision material out of the document. Maybe this is irrelevant to my studies and I just don't want the distraction. I can even just delete out that particular piece of text. I can, let's say, highlight some of this text below, change it to something a little bit more dyslexic friendly for myself, such as Comic Sans, Open Dyslexic, and so on. I can increase the size so it's a little bit easier. Use the various functions just up here, like bold, italic, underline, the things you might find within a Word document. You could insert your own text within the document. You can also do this within the freehand drawing section on the document tab, or you can also do it while making notes, while making edits. So maybe you want to do something later. You can refer back to that quite easily using this add text. So that's essentially the editing of the PDF here. The next thing I'm going to show you is the OCR editor. I won't go into massive amounts of detail of this, but it's a very useful function. So if I open this up, this is essentially what it looks like. It's got two sections. So this is the original PDF that we scanned or we took. This is what it's going to look like once it's been converted. So instantaneously, you can see what it will look like. So you don't have to convert it and then see the mistakes. And we've all been there. You have a lovely PDF, you convert it to Word, you convert it to Excel, you convert it to PowerPoint, what have you, and it just comes up completely wrong. Everything's wrong. Everything's in the wrong place. So ABBYY allows us to eliminate that big step. You can also come up here in the top and see various other formats. So obviously it was in Word before, but we can scroll down and see how it will look converted into various different formats. And that does include Amazon Kindle. So if a student prefers to read on a handheld device, they can easily out. Now, what's happened here, if you can see, is when when Abby OCR'd this particular document, it's essentially OCR'd the logo as text when it should have been OCR'd as an image for a logo. And that can happen when OCRing information. So simply click on that box and we just delete it. Now it's going to be gone. We need to change this to a picture area instead. You can find various areas here, such as a table, background picture, and so on. If I click the picture area, just draw a quick rectangle around it. And then I want to just hit recognize page or process information instantaneously. And now this is what it's going to look like once it's been converted. If you can see this side of the page again, there are some blue icons here. And these essentially are Abby telling us there's potentially an issue with the OCR. These could be mistakes. This could be spelling mistakes. This could be an issue with the actual process. So we have this button at the top, marked verify, and this essentially is going to check the OCR, and it's also going to do a spell check for us. So I'm happy with right key there, and it's correct. And as you can see, we've got a spell incorrect right here. So we can just say correct that easily and done. Another useful feature you can find within the OCR editor is, if you remember when I was editing that PDF earlier, I had to highlight the text. I had to change it into Comic Sans. Doing it within the OCR editor allows us to do much larger blocks, so we don't have to edit each part. So we can click this button marked Style Editor, and as you can see, it's highlighted this particular area in green. And then we can just say change it into Comic Sans. Let's change it to size 14 and make it a little easier. And then we can simply save it, convert it into whatever format. I'll show you two little bits more on this, and then I'll move on to the final bit before we wrap up. This particular button here is quite useful. So if students do get distracted by perhaps images within the document, or there's maybe too many and it differs from the text, you can use this particular button just to click it, and it will remove all images from that PDF document. If you come to the side of the original PDF, and you come up here, you can see there are a few functions, but the one I want to show you is edit image. So let's say for whatever reason, in adding OCR perfectly, can happen, but since it's rare, you can come in here and make your own personal edit. So you can realign the text, you can realign the scan, you can rotate it. The one I want to show you is invert. So if you click invert, you can put it into a high contrast mode essentially. So to do prefer reading that style, we'll find this quite useful. Abby can OCR forms and fill in the blanks, as it were. It doesn't happen all the time. For those ones that it doesn't automatically work, you have this form editor function where you can insert your own text boxes, tick boxes, radio buttons, drop down list boxes, and even signature to sign it digitally. What's important to know about this is, let's say I created a form using Abby myself. I can share this. Someone using Abby, again, can reply to us. But someone not using Abby can actually use my text fields, my tick boxes, my signature fields, etc., and send that information back to us filled in. It would be quite useful for students who do have to make sort of questionnaires, studies, everything like that within their course. Come back here. Now you can see I can just sort of interact with this information, use the tick boxes, use the name boxes, use the date boxes, and so on. I do, lastly, obviously want to input a picture, maybe for a passport picture. If I just come to edit content, you can find the add picture area here. And then we can just sort of insert an Abby logo, move that around, resize it. Fantastic. Well, that is a whistle-stop tour of possibly the main parts of Abby. Fantastic. Well, I'm just going to end it there. Again, have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.